Welcome to this introduction to the ProvePrivacy Safe approach. SAFE outlines a way of working which helps data protection professionals collaborate with data owners and ensures that data protection concerns are addressed and actions are implemented to reduce risk and evidence compliance. Let's take a look at the steps you need to take to embed SAFE into your organization. The first thing that you need to do is to scrutinize. Work with your business teams to understand the operational landscape of your organization. Learn about the activities which teams undertake which involve the use of personal data. Then begin to identify the issues and risks which these activities present. Next, you need to work with your operational teams to appraise the risks and issues that you have identified. Help your data champions to identify the impact of any risks or issues on the data subject. For risks, assess the probability also and prioritize. Once complete, you should have a prioritized list of data protection concerns. Now, facilitate. Work with each data champion to address each of the prioritized risks and issues. You might choose to address some quick wins first, or you might decide to work in priority order. Your role is to facilitate and help the data champion to address each concern, providing advice and guidance where needed. It is likely that there are some risks that are reduced but not removed. These risks need to be monitored and should remain open on your risk log. Finally, you will need to embed. When you address a risk, it is likely that there may be an impact on operational policy or process. Ensure that these new processes are embedded into your organization's operational procedures by working with senior stakeholders. When all is complete and the changes are embedded, make sure that you set up a regular schedule of reviews so that the SAFE cycle begins again. Let's review each of the SAFE steps one by one to look at the tools and skills needed to implement the SAFE approach. One of the best approaches to scrutinizing the operational environment is to undertake and maintain a record of processing activities, or ROPA. The ROPA. This can be considered a list of activities upon which you have undertaken privacy impact assessments. It should be as comprehensive as possible and should consist of assessments on transparency, lawful basis, information storage, data sharing, and any other high-risk assessment. If your privacy impact assessments are thorough enough, then you will easily be able to identify the risks or issues. The risk and issue log. A risk and issue log should be separate to the ROPA as it serves a different purpose. It should list all of the risks and issues identified and form the basis for the appraisal step. A thorough appraisal requires that you work with the data owners in your organization to understand the impact of the risks and issues identified in the scrutinized step. Risk assessment skills. You will need to develop your risk assessment skills to help you once you have detailed the concern. You should collaborate with the data owners to fully understand both the probability and impact of any potential harm to the data subject. Analysis skills. You will need to work with your data champions to determine any impacts on business process and any steps which might need to be taken to resolve the concern. The risk and issue log. Revisit the risk and issue log and document the probability, impact, and the steps required to mitigate the concern. This will help to prioritize your actions. Now that you understand what needs to be done, you will need to facilitate the actions with your data champions. The Data Protection Working Group. It is good practice to have a regular working group meeting in place to manage your data protection concerns. These should be regular and be attended by data champions from across your organization. It is also wise to include your information security manager too. Work through the risk and issue log and help the data champions to remove blockers to change. Encourage collaboration with other data champions as this builds a data subject-focused team. Embedding changes can be challenging, as multiple functions could be impacted by the change. Data protection reporting. Establish regular data protection reporting into senior management meetings. Presenting a report at a high level of management will ensure that cross-functional awareness is developed and that senior stakeholders are supportive of the concerns that their data champions are facing. Senior stakeholder relationships are an important aspect of developing awareness of data protection concerns and in embedding data protection by design and by default. Thank you. This is the end of this introduction to the SAFE approach. You can now continue your study with our more detailed courses covering the record of processing activities, risk and issue management, data protection working groups, and stakeholder management.